Hello, Ray Phoenix here, welcome to Let's Play Spyro the Dragon, Part 20. So we're finally at the final boss of this game, this one moment this whole game has been building up to ever since the beginning of the game. Nasty Nork, the final boss. The final boss of this game, the main villain. We're gonna end his reign of tyranny and take him down and go to Nasty Nork. That's called Nasty Nork. He's the final boss, and of course he's gonna be the boss of the Nork Nexus, is what this world is actually called. And this final boss is actually, he's actually a lot like all of the other bosses we fought throughout the course of this game, where you have to go for some level, some sort of intricate level, collecting gems and collecting stuff and finding something to hit. In this case, we have to hit down or destroy those, we call them those thieves, and then we take their keys from them, and we can use them to open up the doors, and then we can eventually get to Nasty Nork and give him the old hot foot and fry him with the flame breath. So I guess I know what all the dragons, the dragon world, are going to be dining on tonight. Of course, they're going to be dining on Nasty Nork. Those thieves are back, but instead of carrying eggs, they're carrying big keys, and we could flame them down and get the keys and open up a door to reveal another one, then another one. Well, it doesn't actually go on that far. Almost feels like some sort of romps almost, or something like that. There's a key, there's a lock there, but that's the key we have doesn't go to that lock. The key we have goes to this lock. It feels like it's in some sort of romps, almost like it's from some cartoon show, or someone runs through one door, runs through another door, runs through something else, and runs through this. That's what this whole level kind of feels like. It is a very odd final boss. And a lot of it's not even fighting Nasty Nork. Nasty Nork is actually very little of this level. Most of this level is just running through the obstacle course, running down the track path, and kind of doing like parkour stuff almost. You have to run through something in the most creative way possible. It almost feels like almost like a, how do I say it? This is almost like a precursor to Rayman Arena almost, because Rayman Arena had a lot of stuff like this in it. You have to run through a bunch of, like it's race track that you run through, and Spyro would have been awesome in Rayman Arena, I think, if they made a Spyro game like that, where it's that same kind of racing game where you run through something like this and you chase after Nasty Nork. But we're not trying to beat him to somewhere, we're just simply going to fry him and collect the gems. Oh boy. Yeah, I remember I used to get like extreme bouts of adrenaline flowing through my veins at levels like these, especially because I wasn't really accustomed, especially back when I was a younger kid, I wasn't really accustomed to taking on final bosses of games. If I would make it to the final boss, it would be one of the most intimidating things ever. But nowadays, this seems like a real pushover. Nasty Nork is a real pushover. I've actually known that for quite some years now. That's probably why he's the least popular Spyro villain. This game is one of the more popular Spyro games. But despite that, the villain from this game is actually not as popular. Some of the villains we'll be seeing in some of the other Spyro games, some of the later ones. Nasty Nork will always go down in history as just simply being the main villain from the original Spyro game. Nothing more, nothing less. He's just the villain of the original Spyro game. It was his one and only gig he ever got, and no one ever hired him to be in anything else ever again after this. It was just a one-time thing. He's almost like a day tripper, but with video games almost. And again, I got for this game in a little over a day in real time, but it actually took me 5 hours and 40-something minutes to beat through this whole game, and actually run for this game and get absolutely everything. Obviously, it's not a speed run, but it's still pretty impressive that I got through the game in a relatively short amount of time, considering the fact it used to take me years to get this whole game 100% complete. Nasty Nork is just standing there. We fried him. Look at that. Look how pathetic that was. We just fried him twice and he's dead.
Sorry I took so long. I kind of forgot about you.
What about Ganasty Ganork?
Nasty Nork is toast.
So now there's order again in the Dragon Kingdom?
Well, mostly. I've still got some treasure to pick up.
What will you do next?
I'd say the sky's the limit.
So yeah, we pretty much just beat the game, and it's going to show us the credits, and then after it's going to tell us to get the game 100% complete to get an extra special prize. Well, the joke's on them, because we already done that. We already got this game 100% complete, so we don't have any more 100% completing left to do. It's going to play the music, the ending credits. The music to the end credits is really good in this game. It's the same ending credits music they use in all three of the Ps1 Spyro games, but it's good. I guess you could kind of call it the theme to Spyro. If the Spyro character was to have a theme song or theme music in general, it would probably be this piece of music. This music definitely means that Spyro is victorious. The main villain is dead. Nasty Nork is dead. I guess that's why he never appears in any games afterwards, because he died. He got fried by Spyro. And I guess his actor just didn't want to do any more acting roles in these video games, knowing he get fried again by the main hero, because he'd probably be typecasted anyways as just being some green villain and something. Some green, imagine his body be made out of slime, and he probably barfs out mutant slime all the time or something like that. Or at least that's what Borges from Ivan's War is like, and he actually does look a lot like Nasty Nork. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. I based Borges, he's a villain from my Ivan's War series. I got the idea of him from Darth Plagueis when I tried imagining what Darth Plagueis would look like or what Darth Plagueis would sound like. I imagine he would just be some green, gooey creature thing that just produces mutant slime. He'd be some sort of master at the dark arts or something like that. And so yeah, so Nasty Nork, like I said, he was a pretty, I guess he's interesting, in which we only saw him once, and he did such a horrible reign of tyranny on the Dragon Worlds, and he pretty much enslaved, he didn't even enslave them, he froze it all into stone, except for Spyro for some reason. Or if they ever made more of a story about how Spyro didn't get frozen or survived or something like that. Spyro is voiced by Carlos Alzaraki. He's the same guy that voiced Rocco in Rocco's Modern Life, and ironically enough, he's in the next two Spyro games. Spyro is going to be voiced by the guy that voiced Heifer from Rocco's Modern Life, which is Tom Kenny. And I think the guy that voiced Spyro in this game also voiced Winslow from Cat Dog. You're gonna be my poisonal soyvent for a month because you wed dog's diary. Give me my poisonal soyvent. No sheep were harmed during the creation of this game. It always has to tell us that. Disclaimer, they didn't use real animals. A few Norks and no sheep. Or if they actually used real Norks for making this game, and maybe they're stored in one of those zoos somewhere where they keep animals that were in movies. I wonder if they have gremlins there, and maybe I could pour some water on them and see what happens. So rescuing another dragon we've rescued several times over. Just gonna tell us that, oh, if you want the special prize, you have to go and get the game 100% complete and get absolutely everything in the game. But we've already done that, so this line of dialogue from this dragon is completely redundant. I think you would be more grateful that we actually took our time and effort trying to run through these entire dragon worlds and actually get absolutely everything in the game. But these dragons really aren't that appreciative. Maybe that's why, maybe Nasty Nork knew that all along. Maybe that's the real reason why he encased them in stone. It's because he knew the truth about them, and he knew that they were going to, go ahead and do something like this and rip off their people or cheat Spyro or something like that. This is a bonus level in the game. Nork's Loot is what it's called. We're going through Nasty Nork's stash. We're going to find where all of his hidden gems are being hidden. We're going to collect all of them, collect whatever remains. It's all in this place. Nasty Nork, this bonus level, this bonus stage. It's a pretty cool bonus stage, actually. Spyro could fly whenever he wants to, but his flight is not infinite. He can only fly so much. You can only go to a certain height, but it gradually allows him to fly higher and higher throughout the course of this game. So if you want to, throughout the course of this level, it's like a game of itself, almost kind of thing. And it's increased by, walking up these stairs and collecting gems. There's some gems a lot up there. This level's going to be rich with gems. This level has more gems than any other level of the game. And again, this is no ordinary level. This is obviously a special bonus level that we got for getting the game 100% complete. This is how the game rewards us for getting it 100% complete. You played Spyro a lot to get to this point of the game, so we're gonna give you more Spyro then as your reward. That's your reward, more Spyro. Not that I'm complaining, I really loved this adventure I've been on since I've been playing this game. I always enjoy playing Spyro. It's always a great game. It's one of the best games that PS1 has to offer. It really is an awesome game, that awesome Spyro. I guess sometimes I play this game for soul cleansing. I didn't play this game a lot during soul cleansing that time. I bought a lot of games from that game store that I went out of business. We were selling games for dirt cheap. I bought a small stash of games, and then I remember a lot of them were sucky, and they were so bad. Like, I played this one really bad game I got from there. It was called Star Trek Encounters, or something like that. It was a Star Trek game. It was some sort of Star Trek battle game kind of thing. It was a really crappy game. Star Trek rarely ever had any good games. Star Trek isn't really a franchise that needs good games. That's Star Wars' job to have good games, not Star Trek. Leave the games for Star Wars. So I did some soul cleansing. Afterwards, I playing Spyro. Remember, at some crappy restaurant I worked at once, the kids would often blare ear-bleeding rap music all the time. So I would just afterwards, I'd do some soul cleansing by playing stuff like Ray Charles. Stuff that's not, like the opposite of rap kind of thing, like what Ray Charles is. Ray Charles is always awesome for soul cleansing. I guess that's why they call it music soul music, and they claim he's the guy that invented soul music. That's probably where it gets its name from then. I guess it really lives up to its name then. Soul music. And of course, most of the stuff in this level is not really unfamiliar. It's mostly just stuff we've seen throughout the course of this game. But it's just now, it's more of it there, more of this just run through and go crazy and collect stuff. There's more thieves in this level. Each of these thieves actually do contain keys again, just like the thieves we saw in the final boss of this game. I don't have to fly that high yet, so we just have to just stay at this level. I think there's a door right there. Yeah, there's a door. I think we have the key to this door. So it almost becomes like a Zelda game, where this has like an overly large focus on finding the keys and getting to the doors, and then look at that, it released one of those planes, and has a thief flying the plane. You just have to find the thief and fry his plane. The only way you can really destroy a plane is using Spyro's flame breath. You'll destroy the thief so we can get the key off of him, because keys are indestructible in this game. Keys can never be destroyed by anything. Not even Spyro's flame breath is capable of destroying those keys. And this guy's gonna really put up a big fight. It's gonna make us literally be flying in circles around here for like 10 minutes before we get anywhere close to hitting this thief and then frying him. Almost got him there, but if Spyro had a longer flame breath, or if its flame breath stretched out further, would have killed the thief, but no, didn't. Spyro's flame breath is strictly a short-range weapon. It's almost like that aim cannon from Disruptor, where it works really best if you use it at close angles, but it sucks as a long-range weapon. Or like that shotgun weapon that like engineer classes from Star Wars Battlefront 2 have, where it's like a weapon that works awesome at close ranges. I guess they couldn't make his flame breath overpowered, because then Spyro would be overpowered then. He would just take down everything easy, and he would be, an unstoppable force to be reckoned with. That all sounds like an idea for a future Spyro game that's never, been made, where Spyro has to fight off a clone of himself, like a duplicate. And there weren't any bosses in this game that were duplicates of Spyro. It's never kind of a lost opportunity in this game. There weren't any Spyro clones. Idea. Like a lot of games that have you fight off clones of yourself, like the original Mega Man, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the original Jumping Flash. It's actually not that uncommon of a thing for video games to make you take on a clone of yourself or a copy of yourself. But no, Spyro doesn't want to do that, because Spyro wanted to be more original by, not just reusing the character we already know. Then again, this game actually does lack originality in a few places, but how do you become more original? I mean, just like this is your 3D platformer a lot of the time, just like Super Mario 64, without a lot of mini games and stuff they later on into the later Spyro games, of course, but this one doesn't actually have a lot of that, but it's actually pretty good. Like, it keeps true to what it is. It sticks with what it is. If you want a game where you're just gonna run around and collect stuff, Spyro is a perfect game for you. There's no like that, no extra mini games, no extra bonus stuff or nothing. It's just plain old Spyro, vanilla Spyro, just as we like it. Just doing a chase against this thing, like chasing something, or it looks like, I don't know, it's almost like in Star Wars Episode 2 when Anakin and Obi-Wan were chasing the bounty hunter and that speeder chasing. I just found out Star Wars Episode 2 had an IMAX release that I didn't even know about until today, and they cut out like 20-something minutes of video footage just so they could have the movie fit an IMAX film reel because of the limitations of IMAX. I never really thought much. I almost forgot IMAX existed. I mean, I knew about it a long time ago. It's like one of those things where it's like, oh, you heard about it a few times when you were a kid, and then you kind of just don't see it anymore and you forget it exists. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people forget Spyro has existed. I'd bring up Spyro to people like, oh yeah, I remember Spyro. I forgot about Spyro. Oh yeah. I'm constantly reminded of Spyro pretty much every day. Same with all these other classic games, because I play classic games. I pretty much live off classic games, so I never forget they exist. But to some people who don't live off classic games, to them they might often forget about Spyro. And some people have like vintage game nights, where they have like a game night where they play vintage games as part of the night. But I never have days like those or nights like those, because to me pretty much every day is vintage game day to me, because all the games I play are vintage. I live off vintage games. You can fry these firework things, and they can go flying off and destroying these heavy metal crates so we can get the gems underneath. And I think there's still one more section of gems. We have nearly 1,000 gems. But of course, that's not all. Oh no, that's not all. There's still way more gems hiding in this level. They're hidden around this open 3 levels kind of thing. It'd be cool. I wonder if there were any additional Easter eggs they put in this level that I may not have known about. Maybe we could find like a picture of the creator of this game, maybe, or what the game creators look like, or the programming team or something like that. I've seen some games do stuff like that. There's a nice picture of Nasty Nork on the wall. Yeah, in case you forgot who we just killed, he's dead now. Nasty Nork is dead now, but his picture is still on the wall. It doesn't look sentient at all either, because I could try frying it or flaming it, and it does nothing. It's just merely decorative. It doesn't serve any other purpose than just to be decorative. It'd be cool if they added an effect where Spyro could fry it and then it might reveal something underneath. Kind of like some of those tapestries in Wolfenstein 3D where you put your hand on them and they open reveal a hidden door. So we have everything in this game now, and we have this whole game 120% complete.
Spyro the Dragon, you've defeated Gnasty Gnorc, collected the dragon eggs, saved all the dragons, and recovered every bit of treasure in the Dragon Kingdom. How do you feel?
I feel fired up, Bob. And I'm happy for the dragon world, of course. I certainly wouldn't want to spend the rest of my dragon days butting heads with Gnasty Gnorc and his weird minions.
What's a minion?
Never mind. You know what they say. For every good battle, you need a good adversary. And I felt that Gnasty, in spite of his misguided nature, was a worthy opponent. Uh-oh. Here we go again!
It just ends that the dragons magically or miraculously getting frozen in stone again just right there. We don't know why they got frozen in stone or why they got encased in stone again. It might be Gnasty Gnorc, but Gnasty Gnorc clearly died. So is it really Gnasty Gnorc? Where they were trying to set up a sequel that never happened? Or some other like side story or something like that? I don't know if they were trying to do something like that. It all seems like an odd way to end a game, almost ending it on a cliffhanger. A cliffhanger that was never really concluded, because the next game is not a continuation of that. Probably just some joke skit thing they threw into this game just to be funny or something like that. Just showing us the same cries we saw again, but this time they changed the background visuals now, so it's showing some of the later levels of this game that weren't really shown the first time around. They're showing us these abysmal levels we had to run through and jump around stuff, and so my final thoughts in this game. This is a really good game overall. It's definitely one of the best games the PS1 has to offer. It's a good example of the PS1 is. It's a great entry point. If you ever played a 3D platformer before, or you ever played a Spyro game at all before, this is a very good place to start. It's the first one series. It also like revolutionized the PS1 was. Like, but if you look at a lot of 3D platformers on the PS1 that were made before this game, a lot of them were just games like Crash Bandicoot, where you just go on a preset track and you just run around, destroy stuff. But no, this game actually had a lot of depth to it, a lot of detail and depth, like a lot of like these worlds are intricately crafted and so like deep in detail. They're highly detailed too. So this game really does demonstrate what the PS1 was really capable of. People often say the PS1 was just some system that had bland textures and visuals that would always warp and wobble a lot, and the games were very short, but no, this game proves all that to be wrong. This is a nice, long game filled with nice textures, nice graphics and visual details. They actually really did do a lot of that. Insomniac really did put a lot of thought and effort into this game, and they definitely got what they deserved, because this game was a huge success, and it had 2 sequels on the PS1, so I guess that must mean this game must have been a success, because they wouldn't make sequels to a game that wasn't that successful. Most of the time, unsuccessful games don't really get game sequels that often, and this game definitely had some sequels, and it had a lot afterwards, so I'm not going to get into those now. So it's showing us a nice, beautiful vista scenery of the factories. This game was the same disclaimer from earlier. No sheep were harmed in the making of this game. At least they did something unique and creative with these end credits, unlike Ape Escape 2. Ape Escape 2 showed us the same credits exactly twice too. And they're exactly the same both times around, which didn't really make sense why they would show the same credits twice and not have any changes or anything different about it. No, it's the exact same credits twice in a row, but Spyro did it differently. At least Spyro did try to, giving us different visuals and those for like different visuals of the later levels of this game. So we're taking on these Gnorcs, as you can see over here. We're back in the Artisan's world. For us, back at the beginning of the game, where we have this whole game 100% complete. I don't think there's anything much to do with this game. So yes, this is Spyro. It's an epic masterpiece. This is Ray Phoenix, signing out.